sin and all that. Because God sees the understanding of the child. The child isn't yet developed into a full-grown man. They haven't known from right from wrong, and so.
Well, if God has that power to have a full understanding of these children, so that they're saved if they die before they can accept Jesus Christ in their heart, what about other people that don't do anything wrong, such as Buddhists or any kind of other of the tons of religions we have out there? Why is it okay for God to punish them even though they don't do anything wrong and they believe in some other kind of religion or philosophy on life? It doesn't even have to necessarily be a God. I don't believe in a God, but I still believe in doing things morally and, the golden rule. Why is it okay for God to accept those children, but it's okay for everybody else to die?
That's a good question that you raised up. Basically, I get a lot of these from people out in the street. I'm used to all these questions, so I would be happy to answer them. So basically, why is it fair for someone else to not believe, right? More or less, is if you don't believe in God's Son, Jesus Christ, guess what? You know what happens?
You go to hell, right? That's right.
So you know that, right? Do you believe that to be true?
Well, I personally do not, because I don't believe in this stuff. I like all of the crazy contradictions and questions. They don't process in my head to make sense to me. That's my whole beef. If there is going to be in my perception of how the world works, if there is an all-powerful, all-being God, He wouldn't need to go through all of this trouble to make a point. I don't understand how people can say this God is perfect and give Him credit for creating us when everybody that He makes can't even get His book, the Word of God, correct. I mean, let's think about it this way: you've been kicked out of a church for different beliefs of the Bible, essentially, because you all practice the Word of God, right?
Well, basically, Why
would someone so perfect not be able to write a book that's completely understandable for everybody?
That's a good question. Is it my turn to answer it, or?
Go ahead.
Yeah, all right, cool. Basically, do you believe in science?
Yeah, we have scientific evidence that all of us can see, feel, touch, and observe that shows that there was a way that this planet is created. There's a way that life has been created too. I mean, are you familiar? Actually, that'd be a good question for you. Are you familiar with physics, with astrophysics in particular, when it comes to creationism, biology, and things like that? Have you studied biogenesis and things like that, or are you familiar with it?
I'm familiar with creativeness, creation, or whatever that word is, like creationists. Yeah.
No, biogenesis.
What's that, sorry?
A biogenesis?
What's that? Can you, I'm not sure what that means.
It's the study of bacteria that have formed a good 3.5 billion years ago. And we've actually found proof of these single-celled organisms in fossils and things like that. It shows that life can actually be created from different energies and matter and things like that. And we've proven this, that life is stemmed from energy and other chemicals and minerals and things like that. Now my beef is when we have proof of how you can create life on Earth and all this happens, and the Bible, when science says when the Bible says one thing and science says another, how are we supposed to discredit the thing we can see, feel, and touch?
That's a good question. Can I answer that one for you?
Yes.
All right. You got two eyes, right? You see out of?
I'd hope so, yeah.
Yeah. Now, when you were born, did you know you had eyes without seeing in the mirror?
I knew I could see. I probably didn't know the capabilities of it.
So if you can't see your eyes, then your eyes were without looking in the mirror and knowing that they were there. Until you looked in your mirror, you seen your eyes, right? It reflected, and then you see your image in the mirrors, right? Now, how come?
Not necessarily. I could put my hand in front of my face or poke my eye and know there's something there.
Yeah. So basically, what I'm trying to get at is basically when you look at more or less how you can see your fingers and that, your hands and that. But what about your brain?
We can study it by scientific stuff of going through the brain. Just because you... See, that's the thing I don't understand. Just because you don't particularly know something now, why is it so bad to find out about it later? I mean, kind of, that's an interesting point on an inverse for Christianity. Because, you know, we would give credit to God for creating the earth and things like that because we don't understand how the planet... We didn't understand how the planet was formed. We didn't understand how the universe was created. So we go, well, okay, well, God created it because we didn't know it was there. Basically, in the same way where if I was born, I wouldn't know all about my eyes and how they function. I wouldn't know about, you know, different things like that. But the thing is, as I get older and science shows me how these things work, I have an understanding of them. The problem with religion to me and Christianity and just other sects of religion is that once we have these things that show you that it was created, or once we find out other things, it seems like a lot of people that are religious don't move on to that next step and go, okay, well, I have eyes because there's a pupil, there's an iris. When the patterns go, they go to the back of your head and to your brain. We know these things because we study them and figure it out. Just like you wouldn't know about God if you didn't have someone tell you about it, right? If you didn't get the Bible and you didn't get the things like that, you wouldn't understand how it works.
Do you believe that?
Well, were you born, did you know about the Bible?
When I was born, I
Did you understand creationism and Noah's Ark and everything?
No, I had to grow into see for myself.
See, now we've gone. So basically, we have the same kind of start. We were both born. We're the same age.
Yeah, we're the same age.
Yeah, and as we grow up, you know, both in 1986, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
You were told about religion, and you were told this is how the world works.
No, I wasn't. So, yeah, keep going.
Well, you believe you learned your morality from the Bible, right? You learned it's wrong to kill from the Ten Commandments. You've learned it's wrong to steal. You've learned how to be a good person, in your opinion, in the eyes of God, right? So you've gone here, and you've gone up, and you've taken all this knowledge that you've accumulated, and this is why you believe in what you believe. Now, on the same side here for me, we're the same age, I've come up here, and I've checked out, you know, the same stuff, and you might not believe it by talking to me and my stances now, but I believed in religion. I accepted Jesus Christ in my heart, and I did all that stuff as a kid because that's what was told to me, and it seemed reasonable at the time. The only difference is, as I've grown up, I've learned about scientific theory, I've learned about physics, biology. They have shown, you know, why things are the way they are and how the world and everything's been created. And to me, there's more evidence, because here I am at a crossroads where what sounds better? This book, which has a lot of contradictions that I felt and I've learned, like at the age of 12, 14, that didn't really make sense and didn't seem fair. Or, to me, there's all these books and all these other people that are showing actual physical, visual evidence of other things that have happened that completely contradict this book that you believe in. The only problem is they can show me in this book, and this one, I'm just supposed to believe it. Rationally, to me, I chose science, and I chose all these, and the more I learned about it, I went, okay, well, this doesn't make sense. Now, the difference between you and me is, you know, regardless what I believe, you believe, whether it's fact or not, it's irrelevant, that the person of this book talks to you and guides you. And that's where we have our divide, because the thing that's stopping you from coming over here is you believe that you have a personal relationship with something that these guys over here are saying don't exist. Is that right? Like, is that kind of where we're at? Well,
can I say something? Well, with the basis, before I answer that question, can I just talk to you a bit about science, right? Now, the American astronaut scientists have sent people into space. They have found a tunnel with light at the end, but they have never been able to reach the end. How do you go about that one?
They've reached a what?
They've never reached the end.
The end of the universe? The end of a tunnel?
There's a light out the end of the tunnel. That's what the scientists are saying.
Well, there's all kinds of things out there that we know about. We know there's black holes. Which
Why can't they reach it?
There's all kinds of stars and galaxies and everything out there that we cannot get to. Which brings to another question. If we have all of this extra space out in the universe, what's the point of it? Why would God make all this? To confuse us? To try to trick us?
No. See, where you got a spirit of confusion, and I'll tell you something. Now, how do you know that God's not out the end of the tunnel of that light?
Are you saying heaven is in the universe then?
Well, basically, how do you know that's the universe?
Because we can do studies on it with mathematical equations, with all kinds of other things. We have calculated that the universe is, 16 billion years old? We've calculated so much. The thing, a big misconception that a lot of people have for the Big Bang Theory is that we call it a theory because we think it's a smaller part of something bigger. If we were in Isaac Newton's time... all right, here, I'll ask it this way. Do you believe in the theory of gravity, that when something is here, it falls to the ground?
Yeah, I believe,
Gravity exists, right? Because
we
definitely.
Can feel
it. All right, and it's a law, right? It's called the law of gravity because it doesn't change on Earth.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, we have proven and scientifically researched the Big Bang enough where if we were in Isaac Newton's time, we would actually call it the Big Bang Law. But we don't call things laws anymore because we always assume there's something bigger to them.
Why is that?
The Big Bang is as scientifically proven and has as much overwhelming research as gravity here does. We just have a different name so people...
Do you mind me commenting on that one? Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
The thing is, where are the witnesses to prove the Big Bang is true?
Where are the witnesses that prove the Bible's real?
Well, Matthew, Mark, I can answer that. Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and the historical. I know all the stuff behind the three, and I understand that because I've done a lot of studies of you'd be surprised how much I understand on your point of view for the Bible and how it works. But when was the Bible written? It was written 90 years after Jesus was resurrected, right? I would have to look that up. I would have to get to you on that question.
It's about 90 years after.
I would have to get back to you on that one, yeah.
Well, you can, but I promise you, it's about 90 years after. How are people supposed to have a complete account of what actually happened when that went on? And there's all kinds of other little contradictions, like Genesis, that tells the whole mapping of our planet and how it was made. Why is there two different accounts?
Where are the two different accounts? Be specific with the Bible verses.
Well, if they can't get the first part of the Bible right, how are we supposed to completely take it as truth? If there's two contradicting stories in the first chapter, how are we supposed to accept this as fact? Now, if I open two different science books that talk about string theory, they're going to pretty much match, what they think because everything is double-checked and whatever. Why is the Bible, that has a lot of contradictions, so much better of a resource to you than science books are?
Here's one for you, right? You read a book about science, right?
I read all kinds of things. I'm in school and
now so I'm not coming against you and reading your books about science, right? I'm not trying to say you're bad for reading about science, but all I'm trying to say is you read a book to try and prove science. Is that correct?
I read a book to learn.
All right.
Like you read learn. I want to learn about other processes. I don't avidly go out to go say you guys are wrong. I was on the same side as you previously.
Really?
But the more I research in it, and the more I go, the more these books that I learn and want to keep learning about make more sense to me and have a better point to me than the book you believe in. Now I'm wondering, if God didn't talk to you and you didn't feel you had this personal relationship with him where he literally spoke to you, do you think you would still believe in the Bible as much as you do now?
Sorry, repeat that again. I didn't quite understand it.
If you did not believe that God talked to you and had this personal relationship where he gave you advice and told you where to go, do you think you would believe in religion the same way?
Well, I don't believe in religion. I believe in having a personal relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ.
Well, say that you would have a personal relationship if God did not talk to you in the way he does.
Well, the thing is, God does speak to us, whether in visions, dreams, TV shows, or even pictures. Now, to answer that question, if I didn't believe, if I was, let's say, a non-believer, right? Now, God can speak to a non-believer. Do you know that?
Well, that's one of your premises. And in regards to your premise of God can speak, why is there no proof why is there no like concrete proof that we can know for sure? Because
here's a proof, right?
What you believe in for Christianity, there are a lot more Muslims that believe differently than you do.
Well, here's a proof.
How come you're a minority and there's more people that believe in something else than you? How do you know with unequivocal truth that you're the one that's correct?
How I know, right, is I've heard other people talk about over 3,000 US Americans have experienced a near-death experience, and plus 3,000 plus have experienced a near-death experience, and some of them have said that they've seen heaven and hell and Jesus.
A lot of this isn't concrete evidence, though.
Oh, like, it's a personal
account can't be used as evidence because it is a person's account. Other people can't see and feel what you do. Just like if you tell me that God talks to you and speaks to you, that cannot, no matter how much you believe it's true or whatnot, you cannot use that, though, as evidence because it's something only you can know or feel. So it's not possible for other people to feel this. And that's kind of where we would get into the more factual stuff of hard evidence.
But here's one for you. Go for it.
You cannot actually use personal experience as a
Alright, can I use something other than, can I use this one, right? Now, here's my proof that God and Jesus Christ exist, right? If you were to ask Jesus Christ and truly mean it in your heart to show, like this is what I've done, right? I'll tell you a bit more about myself, right? I was sitting down at a park bench and I was drunk and I couldn't get home, right? And I called out to God and Jesus and I said, if you're there, show me home, help me home. And so I was very weak. Yep.
You had a religious experience when you were intoxicated?
Yeah, sure.
I don't want to sound like a jerk, but
no,
you're not. That's real acceptable premise of saying you believe that you were intoxicated.
Here, this is where God exists, right? If you were to call out upon Jesus Christ and God to show you Jesus Christ in a vision, He will. Then therefore it will be you that will be talking about it, and then you will know for sure in your heart that Jesus Christ is real because you have seen Him, just like I've seen Him in plenty of visions. I've seen Jesus in visions.
That's not concrete evidence that you can show and give to everybody.
Oh yeah, that's concrete evidence because if you're not willing, then you know deep down in your heart that God is real.
Do you think that's really fair though? Because honestly, if you
sure,
have concrete evidence that completely proved it, and we'll start taking some questions from the guys on here. If you had concrete evidence that proved it,
keep going.
How come if it was completely true and there was complete evidence, why doesn't everybody believe the same thing?
Here's one for you, right? I'll explain, right?
We don't question mathematics. We don't question the study of biology. I mean, there's creationists that will say it didn't happen to support their own faith. But they haven't. A lot of them haven't really took the proper time to even look into it. But we don't question math. Everyone universally accepts math.
Science hasn't really proven much. Yeah.
Why is there no concrete thing for religion in the same way?
Well, basically, see, Jesus ain't a religion. He's a person. Just like you're a person, right? I don't call you by a name that supports, but I call you Hannah Cook, right? Because that's you.
Well, at the same time, just someone that is the religious is someone that believes in something. You have faith in regardless of if it's Christianity, just a personal relationship with God. It's a faith in some kind of divineness. So, I mean, you're still religious. It's not an insult, if someone believes, if that's their title. I'm just wondering, with all the other things that everybody on this planet accepts as complete truth and nobody argues if there's a moon. Nobody argues if there's a sun. Or mathematics. Everybody does math the same exact way. Why is there no evidence for religion that can point everybody in the same group? Why is there not one thing that someone can show and go, hey, it's real, check it out, and nobody can go, well, that's not true? I mean, I could go to a mathematician and tell them that 3 plus 5 is 100, and they're going to laugh at me and go, well, no, it's not. Why is it so different when someone tries to provide something that they believe is concrete evidence and other people don't accept it? Why is that?
I'll answer it, right? The one thing is, right, you believe that you're an atheist, right?
Yeah, unless I change it, it's pretty accurate.
Right, now, would if you go and tell someone who's, let's say, a person who doesn't believe that there's nothing, right? Let's say a Christian, right? And another thing, well, there is a God, and so it's actually you, like, you're trying to prove that you believe in nothing, right? But what I'm trying to tell you is that if you call out in Jesus Christ and you ask him to show you a vision, he will. And then it'll be your account and proof. Just listen to me, right? Yeah, let me finish, right? Now, it'll be your proof that you believe in Jesus Christ because you have seen him in a vision, right? Just like I'm telling you right now. And so basically it just comes down to personal faith and trust in Jesus Christ. And so, yeah.
In regards to your example, though, if I told someone that did not even speak English or whatever, or what kind of example, or whatever situation I would be in, and I told them my name, I was born knowing that same